Welcome to Nightland, where the strange, the terrifying, and the unexplainable come alive. Tonight's story will pull you in, twist your thoughts, and leave you looking over your shoulder. Subscribe, settle in, and let's walk into the dark together. Have you ever stared into the darkness and felt it staring back? That primal chill that crawls up your spine, whispering that you're not alone. What if I told you that on a forgotten stretch of Montana highway, one ordinary night shift turned into a descent into unimaginable terror? Buckle up, because this isn't just a story, it's a warning. And by the end, you'll be checking your own back seat every time you drive at night. I've been pulling night shifts at this rundown 24-hour gas station on the outskirts of Missoula for what feels like an eternity. 4 years, to be exact. After a decade hauling freight across desolate interstates, trading the roar of engines for the hum of fluorescent lights seemed like a blessing. The station squats off a cracked service road, just a stone's throw from I-90, where semis thunder by like ghosts in the fog. Montana in October is a different beast. The air turns razor sharp, slicing through your jacket, and the nights stretch out like endless voids. Winds whisper through the pines, polite at first, but they carry secrets if you listen close enough. On clear evenings, the highway's distant drone mimics a river, punctuated by the occasional growl of a diesel rig shattering the silence. I used to love it. The solitude, the rhythm of restocking shelves, mopping floors stained with mud and regret, watching the clock limp toward dawn. It was predictable. Safe. Until that night when everything changed. It was around 1 a.m., the witching hour when even the crickets seemed to hold their breath. I was propped against the counter, nursing a cup of coffee that had gone from scalding to sludge. The tiny TV by the register flickered with an old western, grainy cowboys chasing shadows across a dusty plain. Not a customer in sight for nearly an hour. The world outside was a black canvas, the station's lights casting harsh pools on the cracked asphalt. Then, the bell above the door jingled, slicing through the quiet like a knife. In walked a man who looked like he'd been carved from the night itself. Mid-40s, I guess, tall but hunched, as if the weight of unseen burdens pressed him down. His Carhartt jacket was frayed at the edges, caked in grime that spoke of days or weeks without a wash. Jeans stiff with dirt, boots scuffed and muddy, and a black baseball cap tugged low over eyes that darted like trapped animals. He scanned the store, not lingering on the candy bars or the lotto tickets, but probing the corners, the exits me. His gaze finally settled on the counter, but it felt off, like he was measuring me for something. "Hey," he muttered, his voice a gravelly whisper that barely rose above the TV's gunfire. "You mind helping me pump some gas? Got a buddy's car out back. Hasn't been moved in a couple days." My skin prickled. People don't ask for help pumping gas here. It's self-serve, and we're not supposed to leave the register unattended. Company policy drilled into us like gospel. "Why doesn't your friend pull up to the pumps?" I asked, trying to keep my tone casual, but my mind was already racing. "Who leaves a car out back for days?" He shifted, his boots scraping the linoleum. "Can't really walk too well. Been having a hard time getting around. Car ran out of gas on him a couple nights ago." His eyes flicked to the window, then back. "Just need the top off to get going." Another red flag waved furiously in my brain. I'd taken out the trash earlier that evening, weaving through the back lot with its overgrown weeds and rusted dumpsters. No car back there. Nothing but shadows and the faint rustle of wind through the chain-link fence bordering the woods. If a vehicle had been sitting for days, I'd have noticed. The boss is a stickler for towing strays. But curiosity, that damn fool's errand, won out over caution. "All right," I said, grabbing my jacket. "I'll take a quick look." We stepped into the night, the door swinging shut with a finality that echoed in my chest. The air bit hard, carrying the metallic tang of impending frost. The back lot was darker than usual. One of the floodlights had burned out, leaving a void where light should have pierced. Our boots crunched on gravel, each step amplifying the silence. As we rounded the corner, there it was, a dusty silver sedan parked crookedly where the lot bled into wild grass. No license plates, just empty brackets staring back like hollow eyes. The windows were fogged from the inside, condensation beading like sweat on a fevered brow. It looked abandoned, forgotten, as if the earth itself had tried to swallow it. And then I saw it, in the back seat, shrouded under a threadbare blanket, a shape. Humanoid, but unnaturally still. No rise and fall of breath, no twitch of sleep. Just stillness. Deathly stillness. I froze mid-step. That your friend? The man glanced at the car, his face a mask in the dim light. Yeah, he's resting. Not feeling too good. The way he said resting slithered into my ears, coiling like a serpent. I've seen road-weary truckers crashed out in their cabs, snoring through apocalypses. This was different. The blanket clung too tightly, outlining limbs that seemed twisted, unnatural. No steam from breath on the glass. No sound. Nothing. A chill unrelated to the cold seeped into my bones. I edged closer, peering through the fogged window. The figure beneath was pale, ghostly pale, skin stretched taut over bones. Eyes, were they open, staring blankly at the roof? My heart hammered. He needed a doctor or something. The man's demeanor shifted, a subtle crack in his facade. Nah, just gas. You got one of those red cans? I'll pay cash. Gallon or two, so we can get out of here. Urgency laced his words now, eyes boring into me. We don't have cans for sale. I lied, buying time. Policy again, but truth be told, we kept a couple in the storage shed. He pressed, offering his ID, his jacket as collateral. Anything. I could feel his stare, heavy, probing. Then, from the weeds beyond the fence, a rustle. Not wind. Something deliberate, like footsteps in dry leaves. Followed by a low-groan, muffled, pained. Human? Animal? The man's head snapped toward it, then back to me, faster than a whip. Don't worry about that. Just the wind. It wasn't. My mind word, piecing fragments. No plates. Abandoned car. Motionless body. This stranger appearing from nowhere in the dead of night. What if the friend wasn't resting? What if he was gone? And that groan. Had something escaped the woods? Or worse, was it coming from inside the car? I gotta check with my manager on policy, I said, backing away slowly, forcing calm into my voice. His face tightened, a flicker of something dark. Rage? Fear, before he nodded curtly. I retreated to the store, legs leaden, fighting the urge to run. The door locked with a satisfying click. Phone in hand, I dialed the non-emergency line, words tumbling out. Suspicious man, plateless car, possible body in the back. They promised a unit soon. Through the glass, I saw him pace, trying the door once locked, staring in with eyes that burned like coals. Then he vanished around the side. Minutes dragged like hours. Security monitors showed shadows dancing in the back lot. The camera feed grainy and unreliable. Movement near the car. A figure? Him? Or something else? My imagination spiraled. What if the body wasn't dead? What if it was waiting? Rising? Sirens never came. Lights off, 2 patrol cars glided in silently. Officers grilled me briefly, then crept around back, flashlights cutting swaths through the gloom. I watched from inside, breath fogged on the window. One approached the sedan, yanked the rear door. The blanket slipped. Even from afar, the horror hit. The person was a corpse, bloated, skin mottled with decay. But worse, the officer recoiled, shouting into his radio. The body moved? No, impossible. Yet in the flashlight's beam, I swore I saw fingers twitch. Chaos erupted. More cruisers. An ambulance with lights, strobing red and blue. They cordoned the lot, kept me inside while forensics swarmed. An officer finally took my statement, face grim. The Vic's been dead at least 3 days. Blunt trauma looks like, but odd marks, like something clawed at him from inside. He paused, glancing away, and the man you described? Gone. Vanished into the woods. I finished my shift in a daze, every creak of the building a footstep, every shadow a lurking form. Driving home at dawn, the highway felt alive, watching. That groan echoed in my skull. What was out there? Days blurred into weeks. Sleep evaded me, plagued by nightmares. The body rising, blanket shedding like skin, eyes locking on mine. Help me pump gas. It rasped, voiced the strangers. Then, the reports started. Local news whispered of disappearances along the interstate. Truckers vanishing, cars found empty save for fogged windows and still shapes. Whispers in bars. A drifter, they said, but older tales surfaced. Legends of a hitchhiker curse, a spirit bound to the roads, luring victims with pleas for aid. Resting, it calls them, but they're fuel for something darker. One night, alone in the station, I heard again that groan from the back lot. I grabbed a flashlight, heart thundering, and ventured out. The floodlight was fixed, but shadows clung stubbornly. There in the weeds, footprints fresh, leading into the woods. And scratched into the fence, he's still resting, waiting for gas. Terror gripped me. Was the stranger the killer? Or something worse? A vessel for whatever haunted these roads? I quit the next day, but the nightmares follow. Every fogged window, every distant rustle, it's there. Don't believe me? Drive I-90 at night. Stop at a lonely station. If a man asks for help with a car out back, run. And if you hear that groan, pray it's just the wind. But enough from me. What's your scariest encounter? Share in the comments below and subscribe for more bone-chilling true tales. You never know when a next story might save your life.